Good evening from East Texas from Ford Honey Badger, and welcome to episode, I believe it's number 14 of Let Us Attend from the Gospel of Violence podcast. Let's see here. What do we have and what's going on up here? All right. So, doing a joint live stream yesterday with Andrew and Gary. We talked about a number of, actually, pretty much we focused on one topic. I decided that going forward, I will not be addressing the comments as I go through the topics of the podcast, but I will address the comments. I will go through comments at the very end of the podcast. So please don't feel like you are being ignored. I just noticed that it kind of steals my flow. It takes me off of my line of thought when I address comments as I go. So instead of that, going forward, I will be addressing the comments and questions that may appear in the comments towards the end of a live stream. All right. But with that being said, all of you that are already on, good evening. Thank you for joining us. And if you have questions, if you want to comment something, by all means, do so, and I will address your comments towards the end of the podcast. So, let us move on and let's talk about some things that are upcoming. April 26, 27, 2025, I will have here at Ford Honey Badger Shooter Fighter Matrix 2, which is a advanced class from the series of Shooter Fighter Matrix. There's three iterations of Shooter Fighter Matrix. There is a 1, 2, and 3. Most of the time, 80% of the time when I'm teaching Shooter Fighter Matrix, it's either Shooter Fighter Matrix 1 or once or twice a year I will do Shooter Fighter Matrix 2, 5 DP, deep penetration, and that focuses on certain specific aspects of a 2-5 drill, which is really the culmination of a Shooter Fighter Matrix class. And in Shooter Fighter Matrix 2, besides addressing that, we will be dwelling deeper into a fighter realm within the Shooter Fighter Matrix, which will involve significant amount of work on retention, both once the weapon is deployed and while it is still in the holster, both stand up on the ground within the clinch, and few other topics. So again, that class is coming up April 26th, 27th, 2025. And as far as other things coming up, I will be bringing my mayhem to Pennsylvania. July 29th, 31st, I will be doing Violence Uncensored 1, which is 3-day Force on Force class. It will be happening in Scranton, Pennsylvania. That happens just prior to annual Tremis Dynamics muster, which will be happening on, I believe, August 2nd and 3rd. This is the first year that Tremis muster will be a 2-day event. Previous 3, I believe, musters were all single-day events. And then immediately after the muster on August 4th and 5th, 2025, I will be teaching my AK Knowledge 1 class in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. So again, Violence Uncensored Force on Force 3-day class prior to Tremis muster. July 29th, 31st in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and immediately after the muster, August 4th and 5th, AK Knowledge 1 in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. So, Fear Inoculum. Fear Inoculum 2026. It is posted to my website. It is open for registration. Dates are March 4th through 8th, 2026. Don't wait too long. The class will sell out as it has been over the past few years. So, if you're interested in taking a trip significantly off road into the wilderness, Fear Inoculum is that class. Again, the dates are March 4th and 8th, 4th through 8th of 2026. It's a 5 day class. It's intense, it's demanding. You will be pushed, you will learn a lot about yourself, not only about what it takes to be a fighter, what it means to learn how to fight. March 4th to 8th, 2026, Fear Inoculum 2026. I just recently, I believe yesterday, as a matter of fact, added to my website two new classes. One of them is this year in 2025. It is in November. I will be hosting my dear old friend Bill Paravano. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Bill. So Bill has been dwelling in body work for a significant number of years. I'm not talking 5, 6, or 10. Bill's been doing this for a couple of decades. At the same time, simultaneously, Bill is an old-time practitioner of Systema, and he's an instructor in Systema. So Bill will be teaching a class here in November how to maintain your functionality, how to maintain your health, and a little bit different mindset, especially as we age and as we accumulate injuries and all kinds of conditions, how to stay, so to speak, in the game. It's going to be a 2 day class. It's intense. There's a lot that goes into it. So again, I'll be taking that class myself as a student. I'm not going to be co-instructing in any way, shape, or form. I will be a student in that class. My wife Megan also said that she will be taking that class as a student, and a number of my senior students will also be attending. So I haven't put the slider there on the bottom for Bill's class, but you can go to my website, sonnypuzikas.com, go to seminars, and you will find information for that class, which is in November of this year. And one other class that I will mention before we move on with our topics is in March of 2026. I will be doing a 3 day class that is a instructor development course. I want to talk a little bit about that because this is not something where I'm going to be certifying instructors to teach my material or my classes. No, this is not rubber stamping people that will be doing exactly what I'm doing or presenting my material. This is truly a instructor development, not for the Honey Badger instructor, not forward training concepts, not Sonny Puzikas instructor development class. So those of you who are active instructors, those of you who are aspiring to start on this, let me just say, not very easy and quite challenging path of mentoring others along the treacherous road of learning about violence and how to deal with violence. Again, that seminar is going to be in March of 2026. It is limited attendance. No discounts apply to that class for, I would hope, easy to understand reasons. And yet again, you can go to my website, sonnypuzikas.com, seminars, and you will find that seminar instructor development class. Again, it is in March 2026. With that being out of the way, let's move forward to our next weekly column, and that is Sonny's Reading Room. For this week, this is the book that I have mentioned to a number of my people that attended my classes over the years. Uh, I happen to have good fortune to meet with one of the people who wrote this book, specifically Alex Newman. He was a presenter at a couple events that I attended. One of them, I believe, was, if I'm not mistaken, it was in Bozeman, Montana, a number of years ago. We attended a Red Pill Expo, and Alex was talking there about our current education system and dangers presented by that system the way it is today to the future of America's children. So the book that I very, very, very highly recommend is this book right here, Crimes of the Educators: How Utopians Are Using Government Schools to Destroy America's Children. It's written by Samuel Bloomfield and Alex Newman. Exceptional book, quite big book, a lot in it. Uh, My copy, actually, interestingly enough, is a signed copy by Alex. I got this book at that conference while we were there in Bozeman, Montana, a number of years ago. I had a good fortune again to kind of, talk to Alex for a while on the sidelines after his presentations were done. And a very interesting fella, very interesting young man. Uh, Very, very, very well informed about all things uh, regarding education system and on all things that the dangers that it possesses. And I just want to quote a couple of things. On one of the pages in the beginning of the book says, "Can the liberties of the nation be thought secure when we have removed their only firm basis? A conviction in the minds of the people that these liberties are the gift of God, that they are not to be violated but with his wrath." And that's from Thomas Jefferson. The second quote, very interesting. "If the representatives of the people betray their constituents, there is then no recourse left but in the exertion of the original right of self defense, which is paramount to all positive forms of government." And that comes from Alexander Hamilton. Hamilton, from Federalist number 28, year 1787. Now I'm not gonna quote much from the book. I'm gonna leave it up to you. It is really, really amazing book. As I said, it is quite extensive. It's somewhere in the order, if I'm not mistaken, about 340 pages. So it's not a short book, but I just want to read a couple chapters for you. Chapter 1, it's called Treason, the Deliberate Dumbing Down of a Nation. Chapter 2, how John Dewey, who is considered a grandfather of current American educational system, created a house of lies. Child abuse, turning normal children into dyslexics. Sight vocabulary, the poison of primary education. California's literacy disaster, when utopians rule, the children suffer. Drug pushing, the cure for ADD and ADHD. Contributing to the delinquency of minors. The unsettling phenomenon of teen suicide. Here is an interesting one. This is chapter 20, The Making of Black Underclass. And this following chapter, chapter 21, Eugenics and the Creation of the Black Underclass. And it goes on. It is really a heavy book. One more time, Crimes of the Educators, written by Samuel Bloomfield and Alex Newman. I very, very highly recommend this book. I think I'm convinced that every parent not only should possess this book, but to read this book and understand what are we dealing with as far as our government education system. It is truly, it's satanic. I know some people will think that that's a very strong term, but I am convinced, absolutely convinced, that our current government-run education system is not from a good side of things. So that is my reading room for this week, Crimes of the Educators by Samuel Blumenthal and Alex Newman. Not Blumenthal, Bloomfield. Sorry about that. Uh, look for it, find it, get it, read it. Read it and share with others. It is that important and it is well worth it. All right, let us move on to our other weekly column, and that is conditioning, weekly tip of conditioning. And today's topic is somewhat obscure. Not really, but for some people it may seem as it is obscure. Removing traditional metrics of numbers, repetitions, pounds, and replacing it with question mark, question mark, question mark. The metric of how many reps and how many pounds, the numbers that dictate what we do, and as if those numbers somehow reflect our dedication, our seriousness about our conditioning, and such. And that opinion has been formed over a number of years, is not a strong, good, or even relevant metrics. So what do we replace it with? Again, this is where it may sound like it is obscure. It really isn't. Whatever exercises you're doing, be it push-ups, sit-ups, squats, variety of any of the above, leg raises, spiders, anything else you do with resistance bands, with kettlebells, any other weights you use. Drop the metric of numbers and replace it with this. Be attentive to what is going on during the exercise. Slow down your movement. If needed, lower the weight if you using the weights. If you're using resistance bands or whatnot, if it's needed in order for you to slow down, to have good attentiveness and be able to listen what that exercise, so to speak, tells you, what your body tells you during that exercise, do so. Reduce the weight, limit the numbers, slow down each rep. It should not be a mindless repetition of the same move. Although the movement may be the same, but with each repetition, if you slow down and you pay attention to what's going on, you will certainly be able to make adjustments based on what you quote unquote hear or what you feel. Number of my students over the years have listened to that advice and implemented in their regimens, and the results truly speak for themselves. And I know some of you, especially some of you who may be somewhat of what we call meatheads, gym rats, and on, it's somewhat weird because you go like, well, how do I measure what I do if not by numbers and pounds lifted? Um, that's what I'm trying to suggest. Don't worry about numbers. If you're holding the plank, don't necessarily worry about time. At some point, maybe in the beginning, that's something that you need to do to reach certain point. But after you reach 3, 4, 5 minutes of being able to hold the plank, it's no longer the metric that matters, the metric of time. What matters is what you do during the time that you have performing the task. Attentiveness, focus, whether it's overall focus, big picture, macro picture, so to speak, or you're focusing on something smaller, on the specific part of your body, specific muscle group, and or connective tissue, tendons. Uh, make make an effort to become attentive. Uh, long time ago, I made a short video where I said, remove your headphones, put them away. If your workout, if your conditioning session is to be performed with attentiveness, it should have 100% of you present in your work, in what you do. You should not have attention left or attention being divided to listen to music while doing your work. If you need music to motivate you, that is a separate problem that you should address. As much as I enjoy Tool and other creations from Maynard and the gang, as much as I may enjoy some Nine Inch Nails and or Pantera or even heavier, darker stuff, as far as the energy detectable in that sound, uh, right now, if I listen to music, that is a time that I dedicate to listen to music. If that music is worth time to listen, I want to pay attention to what I'm doing. Likewise, if my push up, my squat, my any exercise I do, my Turkish get up, if that's what you do, is to be performed in order to benefit from what you're doing, you should be 100% in it. Your attention should not be divided between music staring at yoga pant clad babes in the gym and doing your exercise. All of your being, everything in you should be in that exercise. So that is conditioning tip of the week. Remove the metric of numbers, pounds, repetitions, replace it with attentiveness. Immerse yourself in your work. All right, let us move on. And that is health tip of the week. Oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. Health. There you go. D and more D. When we say D, we are talking about vitamin D. Sun, sunscreens, cancer. All right. This is interesting. This is something just materialized today. I was talking to my wife, to Megan. We were driving. We were coming back from an appointment we had, and we were talking about some health related stuff. And Megan suggested this, and I grabbed onto it immediately, and I'm like, yes. So she sent me some information. Not only that, not only she sent me some information and we talked about it, she gave me something that I will show you here shortly, right? Especially here in the West. When I was growing up in the former Soviet Union, guys, I have not heard so much about, like the danger of overexposure to the sun. And what is noticeable is this, because so many people now, they spend their days in the office Their skin barely sees any sun unless when they go on vacation and they hit the beaches of Florida, Hawaii, or some tropical paradise out there. When your skin has no exposure to the sun, to the open air, for very prolonged periods of time, sometimes months, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months at a time, no exposure. Don't be surprised that first time you expose it to the sun on the beach, it's balmy 80, 85, 90 degrees. Okay, not much wind going on, not much cloud cover, and you're laying there in the sun to look sexy to get that brown tone. And by the time you get back to the hotel, you look in the mirror and you look like freaking overcooked lobster. You are red, right? And you go like, oh my God, sunburn. I should have used the sunscreen. Have you folks looked at the labels of commercially available sunscreens? Have you looked what it says? I don't know. To me, it bothers me when something that I'm supposed to put on my skin, including my face, more sensitive areas of the skin, closer to important parts of the body, if you know what I'm saying. For ladies, closer to the breasts and private parts. For us dudes, closer to our nuts, right? But right there on the label of that SPF 50, SPF 80, and all that stuff, on some of them it literally says, if swallowed, contact poison control. I Call me stupid, call me a freaking conspiracy theorist. But if there is something that I'm putting on my skin, which by the way, it's not some kind of a steel titanium armor. Skin absorbs things. How do we know? I don't know, pour some acid on your skin, see what happens. It kind of goes through. Uh, Put some butter on your skin. See how within a relatively short time it all absorbs and it's no longer slick and slippery. It gets absorbed into your body, into your subcutaneous levels, under your skin, and further on. So it does go into your system. It does become part of your blood flow. So if that same product contains things in it that states, if swallowed, contact poison control. I'm just thinking out loud here, and correct me if there are any scientists out there that thing, that product contains what could be considered poison, right? And you kind of go like, let me think about it. For many years, I didn't pay attention to it. Needless to say, when I was growing up in the old Soviet Union or whatnot, I did not use any sunscreens. We spent significant amount of time, shirtless, running, playing games, be it basketball, rugby, football, whatever, doing other shit, working out in the villages, on the farms of our relatives and or people, at places where we vacationed. Uh, so there was significant exposure to the sun throughout the year, right? Even in the winter, there was an exposure of skin because we would go to Russian banya, to steam rooms, and then get out into the open air and get, this cold feeling on your skin. And Andreas, that's interesting. I said I was not going to pay attention to comments, but that's very relevant to what we're talking about, and I appreciate that comment, guys. So Andreas here says, the mistake is wearing sunglasses. They trick the system into thinking that there's shade. Our melatonin, which protects our skin, has its sensors in the eyes. That's very cool, very interesting. I appreciate that comment, sir. Thank you, Andreas. And Ed Z, again, not to pay attention because I will go over the comments at the end of this live screen, but your wife is completely correct, Ed Z. It's the sunscreen that actually causes the cancer. And the correlation of skin cancer, people started to apply sunscreen with toxic ingredient, is absolutely strict. If you look at it, the industry will try to say that, like, well, we just got better at detecting it. I can tell you very honestly, up until 25, 30 years ago, I have not heard of, known personally, a person who had a skin cancer. I will take it back. There were a couple that developed things, but it was not per se skin cancer, it was other cancer, and it was due to exposure to radiation. Some people that went to a Chernobyl disaster in 1986, and then when I served in military, some people that were doing some things very near nuclear reactors. Things have happened, and they developed certain not good things, right? But as far as the sunscreen goes, it's absolutely positively, I am convinced that it does have a direct correlation to the use of skin care products. Now I'm going to show you something interesting. By the way, this is not a sponsor or anything. I don't even know who makes it. I'll actually going to look it up. It looks like the company is called just the way their product is called. And I'm going to show it to you right here. Hold on the light. Eat My Face. This is SPF 20 sunscreen, all natural, all organic. Let me read you the sunscreen and what it contains. Ingredients: grass fed tallow, non nano zinc oxide, cocoa butter, vitamin E, sea buckthorn, jojoba oil, MCT oil, arrowwood powder, vanilla oil, all organic. Okay, so this is the sunscreen that Megan uses when she spends some time in the sun. Okay, here's the interesting part. You open it, it doesn't look sexy. It's all kind of, like a big mess and all that. And you take it. Look at this. And when they say, eat my face, I'll have seconds because this damn thing tastes damn good. Mm, mm. It's like a freaking cake. It's like a non sugary, not sweet, very mellow, a little bit grainy, like a vanilla thing that would be cake topping. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'll eat that face not only because she's my wife. I like that face, but when she puts that on the face, my wife is like vanilla flavored wife. You know what I mean? So it's good. I'll eat that face. So again, this is the product. I don't even know where to find it. Eat My Face. You can probably freaking Google it and find it. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I know it's only SPF 20, but it's look. And I'm not like choking, and my eyes are not coming out. Blood is not pouring out of my ears. I ate it. Okay. Uh, I'm actually thinking about having some more of that. Megan is probably going to be pissed off because I'm going to eat all of her Eat My Face sunscreen. There you go. Megan says, I got it on Amazon. There you go. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. This is first time I tasted. I remember smelling it, but this time first I tasted it. Be careful when you put it on your face because I will start licking your face, and that's going to probably inappropriate if our children see it. But oh well, deal with it, children. Right? Damn, that tastes good. Holy shit. Wow. Anyway, so that is the health tip of the week about sunscreen, and cancer. Not possible. I'm pretty sure it's damn direct correlation. Uh, stay away. Stay away from all that BS that they sell at the big box stores as far as the sunscreens, SPF 50s, SPF 80s. The Australian thing. It's poison because they tell you contact poison control if you digest it. That would be a sign. That would be a sign. You know what I mean? Cool. Let us move on. Those of you who signed in later, you notice that I'm not reacting to much of the comments. This is something that I decided yesterday while doing a joint live stream with Gary Marr and Andrew Smreczek. And Andrew does not address comments during the live stream itself. He leaves it towards the end. In the last 5 minutes, he'll go through the comments and address the questions or whatever comments there might be. And I'm going to do the same. That way I don't get derailed. In the last few of my live streams, we had some trolls from YouTube mainly coming in and being assholes, as they usually are. And it kind of messed with me, so I will no longer be addressing, unless it's really, really good, relevant comments on the thing that I'm talking at the present. I will not be addressing them until the very end of the live stream. So please don't feel ignored. And if your vanity level is such that I did not say hello while you said hello, address it. Cool. And training topic of the week. Training topic of the week. This is an interesting one. This is something that I spoke in the last few classes that I was teaching here. And hold on, after that vanilla stuff, the taste is so strong. I'm salivating. I want to get more of that, so I'm going to drink some water. By the way, this little koozie here, it comes from our sponsor, Ammo Supply Warehouse. It's cool. It has a skull. It's camouflage, and when you lift it, it flips the person in front of you. That alone makes it lit. Okay, and we will talk about Ammo Supply Warehouse, who is one of our sponsors for not only today's live stream but all of our live streams. I will talk about it a little bit later in the show. So let's go with the training topic of the week, and that is having faith. That is not per se, I'm talking about faith in the divine, faith in God, having, religion or whatnot. Having faith. What am I talking about? So, if you are signing up for a class, whether it's with me or any other instructor or any other expert in the field, whatever field that might be, I realize one thing. You shouldn't be going there to be a judge. You should be going there to be a student. If you already made a prejudgment that you're going to go to some class and you're going to prove that instructor wrong, or you're going to get yourself in the argument, you're being an asshole because you're going to be disrupting other students who may be there to learn, to listen, to use their ears and brains. If you think that instructor from the get-go is wrong on this and this and that, why in the holy hell you are paying money, sacrificing your time away from your life, from your family, from your loved ones, from your job, traveling somewhere, buying ammunition if it's a shooting class, getting beat up if it's hand-to-hand class, but you think that the dude who's teaching the class is wrong? You gotta have certain level of faith in the instructor. Why? First of all, there's a slight chance, slight possibility that you may not know what you don't know. I know it sounds almost insulting, like I know everything. If you know everything, what in the F are you doing going to some class, signing up, spending money? Now, if this is a social engagement for you and you want to hang out with cool dudes who have cool gear and talk cool shit, I don't think you should be spending money on that. You can contact them and have a Zoom circle jerk session with cool dudes doing talking cool shit. But do not disrupt the class by your I know it all attitude and being a judge of righteousness of the material presented. That is not your job. You are not the judge. You're not a Pharisee who goes there to correct things. Have some fucking humility. Have some humility. Again, even if maybe you didn't know ahead of time, but you find yourself in the class and you go like, I disagree with about 80% of what's going on. Okay. I submit to you the rest 20% should capture enough of your attention, attentiveness, and focus and discipline for you to make it into a productive time and not disrupting it for others attending said class. Don't be a douchebag. Don't put yourself in the position of freaking federal judge of competence. You're going to go there and you're going to explain to instructor A, instructor Y, instructor Z, or whatever, how wrong they are because you know it. So this is my training tip of the week. Don't be a douchewagon who goes there to judge, to criticize, or whatnot. Be humble, be respectful. You can be direct on the sidelines if you do have major beef with something said, presented. Try to address it in a respectful manner, okay? And try to dig out into the subject matter versus sitting there with with the face that looks like you on your period and acting all douchey. Don't be that guy, please. All right? Very cool. Let us move on. And there you go. Current events. I'm only going to be talking about one topic, although there's a lot of things going on in the world, from Gaza to Ukraine to European elections to Dodge to Trump to protests to hands-off protests to other things to you name it. I mean, look at the legacy media. Pick your freaking topic. I'm only going to talk about the event that I did a special live stream a few days ago, and that is about the event that unfolded in Frisco, Texas, which is northern suburb of Dallas, uh, almost a week ago. I believe it was actually Tuesday or Wednesday of this past week, and that was the event where at the high school field and track meeting in Frisco, Texas, uh, one fella, 17-year-old, stabbed another fella in the chest. From what we know, it was a singular move, singular stab. Unfortunately, it penetrated. The stab was directly in the chest. It penetrated the heart or something close to it, and the young gentleman pretty much died very, very quickly after event occurring. So obviously, at first, as expected, because of and this is the topic that a lot of people go like, why do we have to involve the skin color? Because if we don't, the media and other participants will. This will, it already is. It already has racial undertones. It already involves race, and it is happening from both sides of the event, both whites and blacks. Okay, so the idea here is that, the way it is presented in a lot of media and a number of people putting it out there is that this, outstanding young gentleman who unfortunately uh, has passed, has died as the result of this event, uh, is just a victim. And this black dude is just a murderous thug. Now, I said I'm not going to react to comments, but yeah, Tom Hollaby, and I'm about to address it. It's interesting how gun people are questioning why he had a knife at a track meet, right? These are the same people that have a gun while going to dinner, right? And they're questioning it. Yeah, I saw the comments, and to me, it's like, really? Uh, I don't know. Anyway, so the information that came out, it seems like these two young fellas had an interaction prior to this last interaction that they had, as a result of which one of the gentlemen, one of the young fellas, has lost his life. And that prior interaction was of violent kind. Uh, News are coming out there that there was some kind of, by the way, both of these gentlemen, and I was mistaken at first, there was no information available. I thought that the black kid who did the stabbing, he was from somewhere uh, in Dallas. He's actually was attending a high school, different high school than the kid who died in Frisco. Uh, he is a black young fellow with GPA of 3.5 or higher, which is very, very high. He's a black young fella who works two jobs, and by all accounts, uh, he, he's pretty outstanding young fella by all accounts. Now, how biased those accounts are, this is something that, time will show, and hopefully we'll get the full story and see what happens. But back to the story. So apparently, a week prior, there was a party at one of the kids' houses, uh, and there was a physical altercation. There was actually a mutually agreed fight between these two young gentlemen, the black fellow who did the stabbing a week later, and the white fellow who was the target of said stabbing. Apparently, that fight was over the girl or relationship with the girl or whatnot. And the white kid, the fellow who has lost his life in this tragic event, apparently had beat up the black guy quite significantly. But again, the accounts are out there that the black dude took the L as a man, didn't complain about it, didn't bitch, didn't make any excuses. Now, fast forward, and a week later, there is a track meeting, right? And at that track meeting, apparently the black dude sits at the wrong tent, wrong place, whatever. The same white dude that had an altercation a week prior walks up with his twin brother, makes a contact. Whether he called them names or whatnot, I don't know. We don't know yet for a fact. There are accounts, there are stories, but we don't know. Physical contact happens. Apparently, he's being told by a black dude, touch me again and see what happens. Well, the white kid touches him again and gets stabbed in the chest. Right? As a result of that, he dies. Tragic loss of life. Young man gone way too soon. I do find it interesting, and I saw a question here. What do you make on? Apparently, there is a fundraiser online where the black fellow who did the stabbing, they say the question here, Jennifer is asking 60,000 raised to GoFundMe. As a matter of fact, at this point, it's over 250,000 has been raised for a dead black fellow, that young kid. I saw the reports that he will be represented by two very, very high-end, reputable law firms in Dallas. And we just have to wait and see what's gonna come out in the process and what's gonna happen. But from the get-go, and again, some people may get upset by what I will say, because they will say that's victim blaming. It is not. Realities are such. I spent significant amount of time in Frisco. The overall, how would you say, vibe in Frisco is it's a pretty upscale, mostly white suburb of Dallas. There is a lot of money. There's a lot of very, very well off to do parents. There's a lot of things there that some of you may be familiar, but the attitude of a lot of those kids, I've seen it. I've seen it in person. I actually dealt with it when I was selling stuff at the farmers market in Frisco for close to 3 years prior to pandemic. They act like freaking punks. They are entitled, they are loud, they are obnoxious, they feel like nothing is gonna happen no matter what they do. Okay? Brats. Straight up brats. Am I saying that the young fellow who lost tragically his life was acting like that? I don't know. I don't know. Is there a likelihood of that? Yes. Is this in some way, shape, or form a you know an excuse for what the black dude did? No, no. Now somebody here says that I hope that little N word gets the death penalty. Pain and passion. I'm not sure if we know each other. If you're gonna say the N word, say the full word. Say the full word. I have said the N word numerous times, most of the time as a joke, sometimes not. There have been a couple occasions in my life where I said the N word to the face of black person. On a couple occasions, those were friends of mine or co-workers of mine. So based on that, some people would say, well, I know exactly where Sonny stands on this. No, you don't. You could say, I am colorblind. I don't give a shit if you white, yellow, purple, or black. But if you act like N-word, you will be called a nick. Yeah, the N-word. I don't say that because this is social media with life and I don't necessarily interested getting into jail. Although if I put the black face, I could probably say it 16 times a minute. And it would be okay. And that and this and this and that, right? This case from the get go, to me, there was something funny about it. Mainly because, as I said, I'm quite familiar with overall attitudes in Frisco, Texas, and similar suburbs, and of not just Dallas, Texas, but anywhere else around this nation. Now, here's the funny thing this is tragic. The black dude had no right to stab. Was this a self defense? This was both self defense and murder. If the things went the way people say they went, there was a fight, there was previous violence, previous history. The white kid put his hands on the black kid. Black kid said, don't do it again, and if you do, watch what happens. Which can be said that it's both a threat and both premeditation, right? So it's, again, I'm really interested to see where this goes. Yeah, Davey, and that's why I'm not saying it outright because I believe that number of social media things will do that. Again, what's funny that on the same YouTube, people of different skin than mine will use racial slurs, and no problem. But That's a separate topic. We're not here talking about that. We're not here playing victims that we are white. We're not allowed to say N word, and black folks can say whatever they want. No, we're not victims. It is what it is. Screw it. Who cares, right? What really interests me how this is gonna play out. Tom Hollaby, so I cannot call you a Jap? I'm about to be banned. Goodness gracious. Ouch. Well, that's a bad. That was a slip up. Sorry, you two. Didn't mean to say that. What I mean is jabbing, yapping. Not. I English is not my first language. So when I meant to say that he's yapping, Asian, right? Pain and passion. I really don't know any of that. A lot of people are saying, and apparently there are witnesses that were present there, that the two brothers, the twins, approached the black kid while he was sitting in the chair, and they started the confrontation that turned physical. There was physical contact coming from one of the brothers towards the black kid. Then black kid said what he said, and the brother continued, and then he got stabbed. But again, this is all preliminary. We don't have any of that. I'm pretty sure that at some point when this goes to court in front of judges and all that, this will come out, and obviously this will be disputed. What is the meaning of touch? Was that a touch that is a threatening touch? And you know what I mean? The law profession, once they step in, especially with the big name law firms, a lot of things will get twisted. A lot of things will be taken out of context and used for certain agenda. More importantly, I'm pretty sure that legacy media and a lot of social media channels and activists and on both sides will use it. They already are using it to stoke up racial tensions. And I don't know when it's going to go to trial. It's hard to say because by now it's nationwide. It's a national news. It's not local. It's not stateside. Uh, Evil Spock. I don't know. Vinny, this will probably disappear right after Easter. I had my facial hair now for months, I believe since November or something like that. And it's becoming warmer, and if I teach, I sweat, it starts itching. So this is coming off after Easter. And then I'll look young, sexy, and attractive again. Did I just say that? I did, didn't I? Damn. Anyway, so, it makes me wonder whether it's 25, 26, how both sides will react, how certain organizations that were stoking up things during the post George Floyd thing. Will we have another mostly peaceful summer of burning? 2+ million of damage, few dozen people killed, maimed, injured. Uh, is it possible? Very much so. Very much so. Because I'm sure, I'm not sure, but I suspect there is a above average possibility that as this gets spun, by legacy media and activists and others, uh, on both sides, it's gonna be, some more louder voices on the white side of things, let this kid fry. It was straight up premeditated, racially motivated hate crime murder. The folks on the other side, on the black, they go like nothing short of full exoneration, and he's innocent of anything because it was a straight up self defense against the hate crime from a racist, entitled white kids. So you can certainly expect that fiction. I don't like making predictions, but I am pretty sure that even right now, with a lot of things not being confirmed, I do think that the black kid will not get murder one. I think at the most, this is going to be manslaughter. At the most, it could be less. Now, does that mean that a bunch of whiteys will put on their newly made KKK capes and hoodies and all that stuff and start burning down this country? No. Now, on the other hand, the other side, if this kid does go to jail for, let's say, manslaughter or even something less, they will go, this is racism, and they will burn stuff. And that's where it gets funny. You know what I mean? You sit back and you go like, damn, it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Maybe we are at this stage where none of this is truly fixable. I don't know. I don't know. I would like to be optimist. I would like to be, but that would be a lie. So, if you guys have any, uh, questions, comments about that, by all means, shoot it. Uh, we'll see how this unravels. We'll see how long it's going to take because, again, now this is garnered national, even international attention. I'm pretty sure that this may take some time before it goes actually to court, or I may be wrong about it too. So we'll see. All right. Comment, have your opinions, share, ask questions. I'll address it here shortly. All right, let us move on. And here's very quick thing. Today's one of the sponsors is Ammo Supply Warehouse. You see that big beautiful sign right there, Ammo Supply Warehouse. Yes, Butch Becker. He is our sponsor of our podcast. He is the sponsor of our training on our range. And I put here in the Explorer product spotlight the holy grail of AK magazines, good old bakes. So, yesterday I got the first box, which shows something like that. Caution, contents may cause extreme happiness. Yes, this is the second box, the smaller box. The first box yesterday contained 4 AK magazines, very rare slap side magazines, and a bunch of things and stickers and t-shirts for me, like the t-shirt I'm wearing here today, Ammo Supply Warehouse from Butch. Thank you, Butch. Megan was having like stiff upper lip because that box did not have any t-shirts in her size, right? So I opened the box that came in today and I removed this. Shirts for Megan. So yes, dear, you got a shirt coming from Ammo Supply Warehouse from our sponsor. But before we get to the shirt, here's the Holy Grail, right? So I ordered from Butch some of the Holy Grail. Those of you who don't know what Butch looks like, he's a handsome fella right there. He likes himself so much he thinks he's so handsome he sends me a damn stickers of his face. I have few ideas where I'm gonna use them, and once I do, I'll post it to social media. Which is not gonna be the first time that Butch face has found itself in public restrooms, but we'll go from there. So here's the Holy Grail: uh, bake lights for AK-47 in 7.62 by 32 caliber. You can see the markings where they come from. Yeah, these are the real bakes, the Holy Grail. Metal and steel where it belongs. Beautiful color of poop. Reliable as hell. Are they cheap? Hell no. But I haven't checked. I spoke to Butch about 3, 4 days ago when he told me that he has some. He purchased some. He still may have some left. So go to Ammo Supply Warehouse and look up where it says rifle magazines. I do believe, I hope he still has some left. You can check the price once you get there. I'm warning you, it's not cheap, but this is the holy grail. Butch has other AK magazines for less money. Yes, Uncle Guns, the ones that Butch sent me are truly in incredible condition. They are almost pristine, which is very rare to begin with, and I'm very happy with few extra of the bakes, and I got few of those rare steel slab side Russian AK magazines as well. Big one is the moneymaker. Yeah, so Butch loads up the stuff and all that stuff, and of course, since Megan was having stiff upper lip yesterday that she didn't get any T-shirts, well, there you go, dear. In your size, some ammo supply warehouse stuff for you, dear, directly from Butch, and one and second one with the skull. There you go, dear. So you got some swag from Ammo Supply Warehouse. Butch is dear friend, brother of mine. Butch is a student. He's not just a salesman. He's not just someone who deals in fine freedom seats. He comes to training. He trains hard. Great dude, incredible service. Cannot recommend highly enough. AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com. They are our sponsors. They are good people. They have good product, incredible service. Go and support them. So, and second sponsor is my dear wife for the Honey Badger body sprays. And here is the new one, Spice with a Dash of Nice body spray for women. It is out and available. And ingredients: distilled water, witch hazel, cassia essential oil, cinnamon bark essential oil, Madagascar vanilla essential oil. Everything organic, not a single chemical, not a single thing of something that may poison you, as we have spoken earlier today. So now we have a body spray for men, 47 MAGA orange, and body spray for the ladies, Spice with a Dash of Nice. They are both on the website. You can order one or the other, or you can get a special, which in the drop down menu you can find a special where you can get one for the lady of the house and one for the dude of the house for the special price. Go to sonnypuzikas.com and you will find it there. So that's our second sponsor of the show. Ford Honey Badger body sprays, made proudly at Ford Honey Badger by. Let me go through the comments very quickly here, as I promised earlier. This is something that I'm gonna be doing going forward. Let's see here. A lot of good evenings, Rich and Homestead Medical, and Don Stinson, and I saw Tom Hollaby here, and Shinday, and Clem, and all TG, Ed, Mary Arneson, Alpha Charlie Concepts, Bill Wade, how you doing, brother? Andreas Ed Z, Joe Mapes, how you doing, sir? Jennifer Lowe, uh, Sky, uh, Sam Russell, how you doing, sir? Yeah, I think I addressed mainly about the things as far as the stabbing and the people getting some money for the fellow who is the defendant in this case. Uh, let's see if there's anything here. Any questions? Yeah, Vinny, we'll see what kind of traction they get out of it. Again, this is still early. This is still a relatively new event, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Time will show. Pain and passion. I jabbed you with my AK. Do you expect apology? Because I'm not apologizing. You probably deserved it. So, oh, you from Joe's old school in St. Louis. Yes, sir. I remember. Looks like just in time, just before the end of my live stream, I lost the connection there for a split second. Listen, I appreciate you all being here. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts good, right? You have to admit. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. I hope the rest of your week is good. Here in Texas, in East Texas, we expect a bunch of days of beautiful weather, which means I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff, which is always good. For upcoming classes, go to my website, check it out. Rob Jean, what's your opinion on jiu-jitsu and other arts as real world self-defense? That's a deep rabbit hole to dig, sir. That's something that not, sure, And as far as Sistema getting so much flack, number of reasons. Part of it is how it's presented. Part of it is that a lot of dudes they rush to make videos without making them quality, and it's a lot to uncover. Maybe someday I will do a special live stream on the topic addressing those questions. I think it would be interesting for a lot of people to hear my take on it. And I appreciate your question, but again, it's not something that I can answer in a quick order. And today was a good day. I reconnected after many, many, many years with very important person to me, and few other things went well today. So I'm in a great mood. I'm gonna go have some dinner. Maybe it's dark outside. I'm not gonna do some work outside. I'll do some more other work, and yeah, Vinny, indeed, indeed. Yeah, they're being charged pretty hard. They're gonna get slammed pretty deep. All right, Daryl Damastis. We did get some weather, some storms, but we didn't get any tornadoes right here in our area. There were some about 50, 60 miles north of us, and then further down east into Louisiana. But right where we live, we got some increased winds. We got a lot of rain and heavy rain. Quite a show, quite a lightning show in the sky, but really nothing major, thank goodness. I know that a lot of folks further down the path of the storm, and so that is that. All right, y'all. I appreciate you being here. Sonny Puzikas with Let Us Attend. This was episode number 14 from Gospel of Violence podcast, coming to you live from Fort Honey Badger in East Texas. Go check my website, sonnypuzikas.com, for training and other things. Also, check out the website of one of our sponsors, AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com, for all the goodies that they have to offer. And I will see you all, hopefully, God willing, next Tuesday on the same channel at the same time, 7:30 Central, for episode number 15. Greetings from Sonny Puzikas. May God bless.